Man Talk Mondays. We are back once again, ladies and gentlemen. And I hope you're ready.
Yes.
You're ready.
Yes. I'm ready.
I am Derek, the thought engineer, here with my man, comedian John Yogi.
What it do? I'm ready. D, I'm ready.
Okay.
I'm ready. I am ready.
Hope the people ready. I just
ain't ready.
People, you don't think they're ready?
No, they don't have no idea the information that's about to be poured all over them. They're not ready for that. They're not ready for that, D. They're not ready.
Wow. Well, I need them to get ready because it's about to be on in here.
Yes.
But real quick, let me just remind everybody, this is Man Talk Mondays. It's an open forum where we talk about everything from religion to politics to relationships. But of course, we're doing this from a man's perspective. Now, keep in mind, like we tell you, this is not just for men. We want everybody to participate. Men, women, boys, and girls, you can join into the conversation. Now, how you do this, you simply go into the comments, drop your comment, drop your question. We can see this, and this is how you interact with us. This is how you talk to us. But by all means, let's talk, right? I think we got something good to talk about tonight. So we definitely want to hear from you, all right? We're not going to waste any time. Now, if you've been watching the show, you know we've been talked about a few weeks ago. We talked about what we call LIMP conversations. Yes. LIMP conversations, right? So these are conversations that men find hard to have. This is
not me. Some people.
For whatever reason, these are conversations men find hard to have. And we came to the conclusion that there's one particular area that men find it real hard to talk about. And so we decided, let's get some expert opinion, some expert knowledge, somebody who knows what he's talking about. And so for this week's Man Talk About It, this is going to be LIMP Conversations, the expert edition. We're bringing the expert on to talk to us. And before we get into that, let me say, make sure you like, share, subscribe to our podcast. You can find our podcast on Apple, Spotify, Spreaker, Overcast, wherever you go to listen to podcasts, you can find our podcast there. But by all means, go and take a listen. We got some great content out there, and this will be great as well. So you want to go back and listen to this on top of that. You can catch us on BS3 TV on Roku, right? So if you have a Roku TV or you have a Roku device attached to your TV, go and search for the BS3 TV channel, and you will find Man Talk Mondays on the BS3 TV channel.
We about to blow up.
Mama, I made it to television. I am on television. The country boy from Louisiana is on television. Yes,
Don't make it big.
All right, we got Mr. Ivan. Good evening, everybody watching, everybody listening. All right, so we're not gonna waste any time. We're gonna get into this LIMP Conversations Expert Edition. We're trying to help somebody. So in order to help you properly, we had to bring somebody who had some real knowledge about this. So joining us tonight, we have Dr. Judson Brandeis. He's award-winning urologist and a sexual health medicine expert. We brought an expert in for you guys.
See, right? That's how much we think about the people. We went and got an expert to bring them in. Because I can give you my opinion, but it's just what my friend had told me. It ain't no expert, just what my friend had told me. We went and got a doctor for you guys. Huh?
So real quick, Dr. Brandeis, thank you for coming on. Thank you for being here with us today. How are you feeling tonight?
Oh man, what a pleasure to be on Man Talk Mondays. I feel like I've reached the top now.
Well, we get that again.
I'm at the pinnacle.
All right. So real quick, Dr. Brandeis is, like I said, he's an award-winning urologist. And men listening, you know what that is. You know what a urologist is. If you don't, you probably
been in a lot of places.
So real quick, Dr. Brandeis, just kind of give them some information about you and what it is that you do.
Sure. So I went to Vanderbilt for medical school, so down south. And then I went to Harvard to do a research fellowship. And then I went to UCLA to train in surgery and then also surgical residency. I've been in urology practice for 20 years. I helped pioneer surgical robotics. And about 3 years ago, I became really interested in regenerative urology. So basically how to rebuild blood vessels to the penis for men that no longer are able to be physically intimate. And I'm pioneering shockwave therapy and platelet-rich plasma, stem cells, and a whole host of other regenerative treatments so that men can achieve physical intimacy again at an age where they thought it wasn't possible.
Now, we talked about in our conversations about LIMP conversations how this is a difficult topic for men to deal with, for men to address.
You think?
Right.
Guys aren't coming into the locker room going, "Hey, dude, I couldn't get it up last night."
That is not.
You want to come on over and take care of my wife for me?
Yeah, wow.
No, they're definitely not.
Don't sign the list. No.
No, they come in with bravado. They're like, "Oh yeah, no problem." You know, I was really disappointed. I only got it 6 times last night, not 7 times.
Wow. Right. And we all know we just right. We want to be truthful and get men some real help. So you created a valuable resource for men, a super valuable resource. And we just kind of want you to talk about that resource that you create.
Yeah. So I take care of men. I don't have women patients. I used to have women patients, but 3 years ago, I really decided to focus on men and really on men over the age of 35. Okay. And really 35, 40, that's when things begin to change. So there was a huge study called the Massachusetts Men Aging Study. And what that showed is that 40% of men in their 40s have some degree of erectile dysfunction. 50% of men in their 50s, 60% of men in their 60s, 70% of men in their 70s. So these are really common problems. Whether men admit it or not, they're common problems. And think about it this way. So when you're in your 20s, you wake up every morning with a morning erection, right? Morning wood. When you're in your 50s, you probably don't wake up every morning with a morning erection. Okay. So somewhere along the line, there's a transition. And getting an erection is a function of circulation. It's a function of blood flow. And at one point or another, the blood flow to the periphery, to the toes, to the fingers, to the penis is not as good as it used to be. And so really the first sign that you're not getting as much blood flow to the penis is when you lose nighttime erections. You're not waking up every morning with an erection. I got a question.
Yeah. My friend told me to ask you.
Yeah.
What if you get it sometimes?
Yeah. I mean, you can get it sometimes. It depends on a number of things. It depends on how much sleep you're getting, how much exercise you're getting, how you're eating, your overall physical condition. And the other thing is you're getting nighttime erections during REM sleep, right? So the purpose of nighttime erections, God gives you nighttime erections to keep your penis in shape, right? To keep oxygenated blood going into the penis. Okay, you ever see that TV show Naked and Afraid?
Yeah.
I've heard of it. I haven't seen it. Heard of it.
All right, so like a hot-looking guy and a hot-looking girl get dumped into the jungle with like a machete and a bow and arrow or something to make fire, right? And they're dumped in there for 30 days. And not once in all of the seasons of Naked and Afraid have I ever seen the guy and the girl hook up, even though they're naked and in the forest together, right? because they're trying to get food and they're trying to make shelter and they're trying to fight off animals. But the thing is, right, if you're not getting erections during the day, how are you keeping your penis healthy? And the way that you keep your penis healthy is at night. Every time you go into REM sleep, that's the dreaming sleep, you get an erection. So you get 30 to 60 minutes of erection. See, John is like, damn, I'm learning all sorts of stuff. This guy's just blowing my mind.
Because when you think about health and your physical health, I don't know if we include this. And because when we talked about LIMP conversations, we were talking about men and women, husbands and wives, having that interaction with each other. And when that gets disrupted, the kind of problems it can cause in a marriage. And I know guys are dealing with this and we're suffering in silence.
Yeah. But Derek, okay. This, if people take away one thing from the whole podcast, this is it. Okay. Erectile function and dysfunction precedes cardiovascular disease by 5 or 10 years. Okay. Oh, wow. So the blood vessels that go to the penis are 1 to 2 millimeters in size. The blood vessels that go to the heart are 3 to 4 millimeters in size. So which gets clogged first? The small blood vessels, right? Yeah. So the statistics say that within 5 or 10 years of developing erectile dysfunction, you're going to begin to develop cardiovascular disease, right? Oh, so if a guy, is striking out with his wife or his girlfriend and he sticks his head in the sand and says, oh, no big deal, right? He's missing an important warning sign. And a lot of times I'll get guys that come to my office and I'll send them for coronary calcium scans or stress tests or vascular studies, and I'll find cardiovascular disease. And 1/4 of men, the first sign of cardiovascular disease, sudden death.
What?
Sudden death.
Let's see.
That's it. Elizabeth, this is the big one, right?
But it's funny. I can believe that because once you can't please your woman, you dead on the inside anyway. So you soon to die on the outside because no more good. I mean, think about it. Because once you've accepted that you can't do it and you don't try to do anything about it, man, that is tough.
It is.
Because that's how we pound on our chest. Now you've taken the very thing that makes me beat on my chest and feel like a man.
I mean, John, you're onto something because there's a high correlation, a 50% correlation between depression and erectile dysfunction. And we don't know if the chicken causes the egg or the egg causes the chicken, but at least 50% of men with erectile dysfunction are depressed, and at least 50% of depressed men have erectile dysfunction. Right. So it's something that's really central to a man's self-worth, self-confidence, psyche. And when you lose that ability to get an erection and to please your partner, you lose a piece of yourself. You really do. I mean, we all know that.
So is this where a porno comes in? When do we start to get excuse me, I'm asking for a friend.
Yeah.
When can you when did you bring other things in to kind of help? Or is there a such thing?
Well, okay, so men get turned on different ways. So men get turned on visually. Men get turned on sort of mentally, so you can fantasize, or men get turned on either through touch. Right. So that's one of the possible 3 ways that you can excite a man. But we're talking more about there's 2 parts of it. There's the signal and the pipes. Remember, because erections are a function of blood flow. So one, you have to turn on the blood flow.
Okay.
And then the other is you have pipes that you have to get the blood flow through. So, if I've been to Louisiana, I've been to Jazz Fest, and I know those fried beignets and all that kind of awesome food that you have down there, but that's enough to clog an artery. You spend 3 weeks down there and Nashville sausage bits and gravy, biscuits and gravy. I mean, you really, if you want to maintain good erectile function, it's a question of maintaining good health. It's maintaining low cholesterol. It's eating high protein, low fat. It's exercise. It's keeping the cardiovascular system, the heart and the blood vessels pumping so that you're able to pump blood out to the periphery.
But I don't want to play the race card. But I'm gonna have to pull it out this time.
That's okay.
But as black men, don't we born with high blood pressure? We born with a pork chop in our hand when we born. I mean, really, we born with high blood pressure because it's either our mother had or somebody had it. So wouldn't that be more difficult for us to maintain good health if we automatically born with preconceived conditions, pre-existing conditions? That's what I mean.
Yeah. So I completely agree with you that African-American men have a much higher incidence of high blood pressure. They also have a higher incidence of diabetes. They also have a higher incidence of prostate cancer. Those are 3 things that can affect erectile function. But, we're all born with stuff, and it's how we deal with it and how we manage it. And, African-American men really need to be on top of the blood pressure because can I explain blood pressure to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Go ahead.
All right. So your heart's a pump, right? And it pumps blood through the blood vessels throughout your body. Okay. So if your blood vessels begin to narrow, what happens to the heart? Heart's got to pump harder, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So then the heart pumps harder because you have 2 blood pressure monitors in your body. One is in your neck in the carotid artery, and the other is in your kidney, right? And that's in what we call the central circulation. So you go to your primary care doctor. Your doctor says, listen, John, you got high blood pressure. I'm going to have to put you on a blood pressure medication. And you're like, oh, that's cool. I'm good with that. So what that blood pressure medication is going to do, it's going to open up those blood vessels in the central circulation so that now the carotid bodies in your neck and the kidney are sensing lower blood pressure because the blood vessels are opening up. So guess what? The heart's like, oh, that's cool. I don't have to pump as hard. So then the heart's not pumping as hard. Guess what happens to the blood pressure? Goes down. Okay. Oh, wow. But then you got the penis, right? And the penis is out there in the periphery going, hey, what happened to my blood flow?
Oh,
right. Because the heart's like, well, they told me I don't have to pump as hard.
Oh, wow.
And the neck and the kidney are like, well, we're cool. We got enough blood pressure. And the penis and the toes and the fingers are like, give me some love. I'm not getting blood flow.
Please.
Yeah, come on.
What's happening?
So I challenge all your listeners, go read your blood pressure medication package insert. I guarantee you any blood pressure medication any of your listeners is on is going to have a little thing that says will cause erectile dysfunction because it decreases blood flow to the periphery. So really what you want to do is monitor your blood pressure and eat healthy, decrease the amount of salt that you take in, exercise, try to reduce stress, anything that you can do to reduce your blood pressure, because once you get on those blood pressure medications, you're on a train that will take you to erectile dysfunction land.
Oh, wow. Well, let me real quick. Okay, let me do this.
Yeah.
Anybody listening, if you have a man in your life, if you are a man and you got friends, I know they didn't tell you about it, but guarantee you somebody's dealing with some stuff. Go get them, send them a message, tell them to hop on real quick. They need to hear what Dr. Brandeis is talking about. They need to hear what he's saying. And listen, this is what it is. The 21st century man, this is the resource that he created. And I'm going to let him describe what it is. As I know, we're going to get into some more stuff. I need him to describe this resource and what it is and how to use it. So real quick, Dr. Brandeis, if you just kind of let people know what this is and how to use it.
Yeah. So a couple of things. One, 100 years ago, women lived 1 year longer than men. Now, women live 5 years longer than men.
Is that because they be nagging us? Okay, y'all go ahead. I'm sorry.
Yeah, that's part of it. The second thing, men are not living as long as they were 15 years ago. That's a big deal. That is a really, really big deal. With all the medical technology we have, men are dying from alcohol, opioids, and suicide.
Wow.
That's a really, really big deal. And men are much less likely than women to go to the doctor. Okay, men do things that are much more risky than women. Men have occupations that are riskier than women. Okay, and we need to, as men, we have to take better care of ourselves. And so what I created was a resource for men to take care of themselves. It's 101 chapters of everything that you need to know for men's health. And it's not just physical health. It's emotional health. It's mental health. It's got chapters on anxiety, depression, work-life balance, vitality. It's got chapters in there by therapists on listening. It's got a chapter by a divorce attorney on divorce. It's everything that you possibly could need.
Let me let everybody know. Listen, this great, awesome resource that you need to have, it need to be in every home that there's a man in it. But let me say, so we're going to do a giveaway later on in the show. We're giving away five copies. We're going to give away 5 copies. So I want to let you know, make sure you hang on. We're going to give away 5 copies. Don't go anywhere. You need this. You need this book. Why don't, hold on. So Mika says, Dr. Brandeis is great. He's funny and knowledgeable and can help men that may be suffering. More doctors like him would help get more men to the doctor. So based on what she's saying, so Lisa says more men should have tuned in to this live. Absolutely. So from what you found, why don't men seek out the knowledge that they need? Why don't we go to the doctor? What is that's keeping us?
Yeah, because we're tough, man. we can gut it out, you know. It's if you go to the doctor, you're weak. Right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. But I'll tell you what I see, because I have a private practice up in Northern California. And when you're younger, you can compensate for all this stuff.
Oh, wow.
Until you hit the wall. And then you come to see me. Whether you're in your 40s or your 50s or your 60s, and your testosterone's low, you're getting erectile dysfunction, you put on weight, you're losing your muscle mass, you know, something bad happened. And I've learned over the years how to help men. And all of that I put into this book.
On the early part of the book, I was reading, you have a part called things that women should know about men's health. And we have a lot of women that listen to the show, and they're and they want to know how men work. So could you briefly kind of explain to them why women need to know about men's health? I thought that was, when I saw it, I was like, wow, this is really good right here.
Yeah, it is.
Well, you know, the thing is, men need a team, right?
Wow.
One thing we do is we tell everyone around us, you know, we're tough, we can take care of ourselves, you know, you guys are good guys, right? You take care of your spouse, you take care of your kids, you take care of the people at work, you take care of the community, and you tell other people, no, don't worry about it. I got it. I got this. No problem. I'm strong. Right. And so you train other people not to take care of you.
Oh, wow.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And then you don't take care of yourself because you're so busy taking care of other people. And so you have to stop for a second and say to your spouse, okay, you know, like it's not a sign of weakness for me to allow you to help me, to make me a doctor's appointment, to help me get labs, to schedule a calcium score or some sort of preventative test, right? That's actually a sign of strength, because you're going to be around for a lot longer, and you're going to be able to be potent for longer. Your testosterone is going to be high for longer. You're going to be able to have your muscles longer. So you're going to be able to participate in sports and interact with your kids and your grandkids. That's a sign of strength. Not going to the doctor, not taking care of yourself because you're too tough. That's a sign of stupidity.
Oh, wow. I think Doc is kind of preaching right now. Doc is
okay, but let me say this. But you're gonna lose testosterone regardless of what you're doing, correct? Because the more you age, the more you're gonna lose.
That's
right?
true,
So,
but you can replace it.
Really?
Oh yeah, I have a series. So I do sexual medicine, but I also do hormone replacement, and I also do physical rejuvenation. So I'm on the medical board for BioT, which is the largest testosterone company in the country. I'm also a speaker and an influencer for BTL, which makes a device called the M-Sculpt, which is an incredible muscle building machine. Right. I have a series now of men in their 60s who I put on my physical rejuvenation protocol, and in 4 months, they average about 5 or 10 pounds of new muscle and 10 to 20 pounds of fat loss. I'm actually writing this up for a. Yeah. I mean, it's totally reproducible, and it's absolutely incredible. And that's like, to me, I had one of the busiest urology practices in Northern California. I was doing great, and I totally changed direction. And I'm so happy with the way that I can change men's lives. I used to, we had the second Da Vinci surgical robot in the country. I built a robotics program at my hospital. I was the chief of urology for my local hospital for 10 years. I was voted the top urologist in the San Francisco Bay Area for the past 7 or 8 years. But I totally basically moved away from what I was doing, moved away from guys that were sick, getting them better, to getting guys like the two of you, taking you and making you great. Wow. Maximizing your physical and sexual potential.
So let me ask you this. So when you say great, what if my friend's penis is broke? It don't get no blood, it's limp. You can pick it up, it's like it's dead. Do you like give a new penis? What do you do exactly?
Oh man, there's this horrible accident, right? Oh, no. And this guy lost his penis.
Oh,
okay. So he came to see me. To make a long story short, he came to see me a couple days after the accident. He's like, "Doc, what can I do?" And I said, "Well, listen, I got 3 options for you, John. I could either put a new penis back on for $5,000,
okay,
a large penis on for $10,000, or a large penis that vibrates, but that's $25,000." Right? So I was like, all right. He's like, "Well, this is a big decision. I got to go home and talk to my wife." Okay, so days go by and I don't hear from this guy. And so finally I call him up. I'm like, "John, we talked 3-4 days ago about your missing penis. And, I gave you the $5,000 option, the $10,000 option, and the $25,000 option. Have you thought about what you were going to talk to the wife, and have you thought about what you're going to do?" Mm-hmm. And John's like, "Yeah, well, talk to the wife, and she said she'd rather redo the kitchen."
That is hilarious.
Okay. Oh, no. All kidding aside. Okay. The way that we work on things, in addition to doing all the physical rejuvenation, okay, we're working on the signal. Okay. Mm-hmm. The signal in the penis is a molecule called nitric oxide. And when I was at UCLA, one of my professors won the Nobel Prize for discovering nitric oxide. So nitric oxide is like electrons in electrical wire. Nitric oxide is like that in nerves.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And nerves release nitric oxide onto blood vessels, and they open up blood vessels. Okay. And as you get older, the amount of nitric oxide that you have declines. Right. So you want to boost nitric oxide. So I actually have a supplement that I produce called Affirm that we make at Affirm Science.
Okay.
But there are a number of other nitric oxide supplements that boost circulation everywhere. So it helps with blood pressure. I get a lot of men off their blood pressure medications by putting them on nitric oxide boosters. Absolutely.
Really?
It improves cognition, so thinking. It improves athletic performance independently. So they've done studies on cyclists where their cycling times increase 1 or 2%. Bench press increases 13 pounds. There was a study on soccer players where their performance increased a couple percentage, which doesn't sound like a lot, but when you're talking about elite athletes, just by taking a nitric oxide booster, which is basically watermelon and beets, that's a big deal.
Really?
Yeah. That's why you all see on TV eat beets, because beets are nitrate. Nitrate is reduced in the stomach to nitric oxide. And then you also see sometimes on health blogs eat a lot of watermelon, because watermelon has citrulline, which is a non-essential amino acid that turns into arginine, which is a nitric oxide donor. So then you get nitric oxide that makes this stuff called CGMP, and CGMP opens up blood vessels. Okay. So then Pfizer was doing this experiment on an experimental drug called sildenafil in England. They were trying to look at it for heart problems, right? And after they were giving these guys the medication for their heart problems, there was an observant nurse in the recovery area. And what she found is that everyone was lying on their stomach.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's a true story. What? And so she asked these guys, why are you guys all lying on your stomachs? And they're like, well, we got a raging heart on.
Really?
And this nurse, they should have given her a big bonus, because she called up her bosses, the doctors that were running the study, and said, I think that this medication is helping these guys get erection. And what it does is it blocks an enzyme that's only in the penis called the PDE5 enzyme. And so if you look at Viagra, Cialis, any of those things, it's a PDE5 inhibitor, but you need the nitric oxide to make the CGMP. And then you need the Viagra or the Cialis to block the breakdown of CGMP so that you maximally dilate blood vessels.
I had heard that Viagra actually was a blood pressure medication, and the side effect, which is what people go for now, the side effect was what it did to men as far as erection goes. And this is what they marketed it. They marketed it based on that instead of the blood pressure.
Wow. But I was a side effect to a friend of mine.
John just takes it for the articles.
See, there you go. See, I just like to read. There you go. but it makes you
flushed.
Yeah, you can't hardly breathe. You're stopped up and all that stuff. Yeah. So
it's a vasodilator, right? It opens up blood vessels, and it does it very specifically to the penis, but there is some cross reactivity. And so if there's cross reactivity in the blood vessels in the nose, it'll stuff you up. If there's cross reactivity in the head, it'll give you a headache or some facial flushing. There's a cross reactivity to what's called the PDE6 enzyme, which is in the eyes. So some people get a bluish haze.
Oh, wow.
I think they're having sex with a Smurf.
A Smurf.
Wow. They just want to be still. Just be still. Let me finish. Just be still.
Doc is hilarious, Ivan. He's hilarious.
You guys, you didn't think I was going to be funny, but if you spend your whole day, no, seriously, if you spend your whole day talking to guys about penises, you got to be funny.
Yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that. Well,
so, go ahead, Dick.
I'm saying, so we want to, again, reiterate how people get the book, how they find the book, and how important it is to make sure you add this to your collection of books. This should be the book. And I guarantee
this is the one book you need.
This is the one book.
This is the one book that you need that will help you. This is like, so I have a network of 60 doctors and men's health experts.
Oh, wow. So your whole team.
That a whole team that wrote this book, because I don't know everything about everything, right? I know what I know, and I know what I don't know, but I know a lot of people that know a lot of stuff. And so For the heart chapter, I got a cardiologist. For the eye chapter, I got an ophthalmologist. For, you know, how to look better, I got dermatologists and plastic surgeons and foot doctors and orthopedic surgeons and hair replacement doc. You know, you got a whole team. And this is an advice book, right? This is not a reference book. So you got really top private practice guys that are going to talk to you like as if they were your next door neighbor, as if they're your friend.
Wow.
Right? They're not going to give you like the party line. They're going to tell you how it is.
Wow.
Right? And so this book, it's an imposing book, right? It's 900 pages, but maybe only 200-300 pages actually apply to you right now.
Yeah.
But, you know, 5 years from now, you might have a bump in your PSA or have some trouble urinating and, oh, let me go check out that prostate chapter. Or a couple of years later after that, you might have some eye problems. So let me check out the eye chapter.
I was looking at the exercise part of it because that's one of my struggles. I'm always starting and stopping something. But one of the quotes in the book, it said, you need to exercise so you can get in touch with your body, so it can talk to you. It can make the voice inside your body louder when it talks to you to tell you what's going on with your body. I thought that was really good because a lot of time when we're going through stuff, we need to hear what our body is saying, especially the older we get. And I thought that was really good when I read that in the book.
Yeah, I mean, we have a lot about the aging process because the thing is, like, you don't think that you're getting older, but you really are. And so there's a chapter that I wanted to call stupid things that guys do, but I think we ended up calling it like accidents that people have or something like that. But, you know, it's like every year I see a couple of patients that were going up there putting Christmas lights, you know, and they're 65 years old and they fall off a ladder. And that could totally change the trajectory of your whole life. And you don't really realize that you can't do that kind of stuff anymore. So, you know, one of the overriding themes of the book, and I think this is really important, is the hero's journey. And the hero's journey is this concept by a guy named Joseph Campbell that there's an archetype, there's a whole series of hero's journey. And George Lucas was a big fan of this. And it's the way that, you know, we're born in a town and then we leave the town and we go on an adventure and then we come back and we're a changed person. But everyone out there needs to think of themselves as the hero of your own journey. You know, Michael Jordan is a hero, but he's got his own journey, you know, or Drake or you know, any of those people. They're heroes, but they got their own journey. Focus on your own journey. You can be the hero of your own journey. And then all of the decisions that you make in your life, whether it's drinking, smoking, drugs, foods that you take in, your decision to exercise or to stretch or do meditation, or, you know, how you act at work or whatever, they're the decisions that a hero is going to make.
Wow.
And when you really think about yourself as a hero and the impact that you can have as an individual on the people around you and how those decisions that you make affect others and yourself, then it changes the game. And this book is information for heroes, people that want to live a better life, that want to do better. All the information is there. Then it's up to you how to use it. And that's the critical thing about the 21st century man. I gave 2 years of my life to put down everything that I know and all of my top colleagues know into one book and make it super accessible for men to read and funny. I got quotes in every chapter, and my sexual medicine chapters are straight out of Playboy magazine. I mean, there's some hilarious stuff in there. I have a chapter on how to make love to a woman by Susan Bratton, an incredible internet sex, intimate wellness coach. I mean, there's everything that you need to excel as a man.
Wow.
Yeah. You just have to make the commitment and you have to read the chapters that relate to you.
Wow. Wow.
So let me say, listen, everybody, make sure you go and check out this book. Now, somebody asked the question, is it on Audible? You don't have an Audible version of this?
You know, I'm actually recording it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So I did my parts, and then I have a professional, because it's about 35, 40 hours of recording.
Yeah.
But I did mine. I had Susan Bratton did her chapter. You know, Joe Starkey. Joe Starkey was the voice of the 49ers. He wrote a chapter on how men bond through sports. He's the guy that called the play, you know, the crazy play between Cal and Stanford where they lateraled the ball 42 times.
Oh, yeah. The band ran.
Yeah.
Ran to the band. Yeah.
The guy who spiked the ball and the trombonist.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he did that. And then Brian Bandmiller did his chapter. He's a national correspondent, interviewed every president, every big business leader in the Bay Area. And then I have just hired this really great guy. So within a month, we'll have an audiobook. Within a couple of days, the ebook will be out, and December 3rd, they promised me, you know, like all the paper that's supposed to be printing my book is still out in the port of Long Beach, but my ship's coming in.
Yeah.
And so by mid-December, we should be sending out the hardcovers.
Well, so don't forget, we got 5 copies that we're going to be giving away tonight. So you make sure you stay tuned.
And they're signed.
And they're signed.
Mm-hmm.
One day my autograph might be worth a lot of money. Who knows?
I think it will be. I think it will be. Listen.
Either on the book circuit or the comedy circuit, one of the two. Well, John and I are going to talk about an engagement later.
There you go. Absolutely.
Well, Dr. Brandeis, we've enjoyed having you on. This has been valuable information, and I know the guys in the chat and the comments, they are getting some valuable information right now. So we're going to make sure we continue to tell people how to get the book. We thank you for your time. We know you're off in California and you work in your practice and everything, but we really appreciate you spending the time with us right now to have this conversation. And John, go ahead.
Hey, before you go, a friend of mine was just telling me, what can he do to get some of those Affirm things? He don't need them, but it's just, you know, hey, just have them on the shelf, you know.
Yeah, just go to Affirm Science, AFFIRM Science.com, and you can just order them right off the website.
All right, got it.
And I want to put a plug is not the right word, but I have a YouTube channel.
Okay.
Called Brandeis MD, BRANDEIS MD. And so one of the things I do is I travel around the country and teach other doctors and lecture to patient groups. And so I put a lot of the information and the lectures that I do on my YouTube channel. So I have the men's sexual medicine curriculum. I have one on M-Sculpt. I have one on testosterone. I have one on Peyronie's disease.
Oh, wow.
So, yeah. So, you know, I love teaching men and I love really educating men, because the thing is, like, there's nothing to be ashamed of, right? One more quick thing. Okay. You're at work, right? And your dad has to go to a cardiologist.
Mm-hmm.
Right. And so you announce to everyone, hey guys, listen, you know, I got to go take my dad to the cardiologist. He's having some problems with the blood vessels in your heart. And what does everyone at work do? They're like, oh, you know, what a nice son. You're really a good guy, you know, taking your dad to the cardiologist. Right. Then what happens if the next week you're like, hey guys, listen, I got to take your dad to the urologist. He's not getting enough blood supply to his penis. Right? What are they going to say? But it's the same disease process, right?
Wow. Yeah.
It's not something to be embarrassed about.
Mm-hmm.
It's something that happens. And it happens 5 or 10 years before it happens to the heart. So if you learn anything from today, if you have erectile dysfunction, go to your primary care doc. Get your heart checked out. Okay? Could save your life.
Wow. Real quick, let people know where to find you. We know about the YouTube channel, Brandeis MD. Any other places they can find you? They're looking for
if you go to the 21stcenturyman.com, just written all out, that will be the website for the book. You can see the bios for all the authors. They're going to have all sorts of health resources for places you can go, like if you have diabetes or heart disease or lung problems or any of those things that we all get. And just, you know, take care of yourself.
Absolutely.
Wow.
Thank you once again for joining us. We have definitely enjoyed this. This has been a great great show. And
thank you guys so much for having me on and allowing me to talk. And you guys do great work. I really appreciate what you do also.
Thank you,
man. We appreciate
you. Everybody, Dr. Brandeis.
Yay! Greatness, man. Greatness. Oh, we cut him off. Okay. Okay, go ahead.
Did you want the $5,000 one, the $10,000 one, or the $25,000 one?
We'll talk when we get off air.
Tell Derek you want a raise.
Tell his wife that.
She'd rather redo the kitchen.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, Doctor. Appreciate it.
You got it. All right, bye-bye.
Wow.
Man.
Oh man. And listen, we come, we talk, we have fun, but this is some serious stuff that we're dealing with. Men are suffering in silence. We're not talking about the things that are going on. Because like you said, we like the bravado. We like to make sure we spend our lives taking care of everybody when it's time for them to take care of us. We don't necessarily know how to accept it, but we need it. We definitely need it. And
yeah, I think it's great also, man, to, talk about being a hero. Hey man, I think that was really good, because we all need to be our own heroes, because a lot of times we look to other people to do some of the stuff we should be doing. But man, I think that was really good about being your own hero, man.
Right. People don't think about being a hero for their own story.
Yes, absolutely.
Their own story. So real quick, we're gonna do our first giveaway. So we want you to go into the comment section, and the word is communication. So go drop that word into the comment section. Then this is going to enter you into that drawing. So right now, go ahead and drop communication into the comment section. We'll give you some time to do that, and then we'll run and pick somebody. Somebody will be picked for the first book. All right. So we got a few people entries.
They're getting in there. They're getting in there.
Yeah, we want you to get in there. We want you to get in there. So make sure you go in, leave your entries. We're gonna go ahead. Now, let me say this. We're gonna keep tabs on that. All right, we'll be back to that in a second. If men knew this, the nitric oxide, I always familiar with nitric oxide when men work out. I knew guys that work out used it, but I just thought it was a workout supplement. I didn't know it did all that. But if men knew that beets and watermelon were that beneficial,
oh my goodness,
the stores would be empty.
Oh my goodness, D. When he said that, I was like, and it's kind of funny. I kind of shunned away from eating watermelon. My wife always tried to get me to eat it, but I'm like, But man, I had no idea.
It makes me sick. I used to eat it, man.
Really?
Yeah, it makes me sick. But yeah. All right. So let's go ahead and see if we can do our first person. We're gonna hit. Oh, let me make sure I get to the right place. All right. So who do we have for the first?
Oh, that's neat, man. That's neat.
We're not eligible. We good. So we're not eligible. Who we got? Hey! Anthony Harris. Anthony Harris is our first winner. He's our first winner of a free signed copy of The 21st Man, Anthony Harris. So Anthony, real quick, drop your address, send it to us to our email address. That's mantalkmondays1@gmail.com. We got you. We got you. We're gonna get it to you. All right. Yeah. So make sure you just send us your address and everything to mantalkmondays1@gmail.com. All right. So Ivan says he takes beet supplements every day.
I had no idea.
Okay, Rod said my favorite fruit. I saw me talk about watermelon. Listen, watermelon is gonna fly off the shelves now.
Man, we hope.
It's gonna be on that watermelon now.
We hope everybody's on it.
Mika said he was great. I know he was for the men, but I learned some things. Listen, and he said something key about that. Men need that support. Need that support. He said something when we were talking to him one time. He said women are more in tune with their health because they take care of the children, and because they want to watch out for their health, especially with babies when they're having babies and everything. They stay pretty close to their doctors, but men, we don't do that. So we need sometimes that nudge. I remember the Cosby Show where Claire used to always keep Cliff Huxtable eating right and all this kind of stuff, especially when he had to go to the doctor. She made sure he went. I don't know if you remember that, but she would always seem to make sure that he did that.
Wow.
All right. So let's do one more. The next word is honesty. Honesty. So we're gonna let me get back. Let me get back. So we're gonna just a second. Wait for you put it in there. Wait for you put it there.
Oh, we gotta eliminate these out of there.
Yeah, I gotta clear it out.
Okay.
I gotta clear it out so we can start this over again. So just bear with me, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So I'm having all right. So honesty.
So put honesty in the chat. I mean, in the what now?
All right. Yeah, we're already getting entries now.
Okay.
For honesty. All right. So honesty. We give you a couple more minutes to put it in if you want a free copy of The 21st Man. All right. He talked about how foods that are rich in goodness. When you talk about the beignets and how people eat down south. And what do they call that? They call it what? Comfort food.
Yes, they sure do.
We call it comfort food. And I was thought about it. Black men need a lot of comfort, so we eat the bad stuff. Because stuff we go through, just as Black men, I wonder, is that why we're prone to that type of eating?
Wow. And
because it's not that we're born with high blood pressure, we're born with the habits, the food that we eat and everything. Those are things they're cultural, they're our habits and everything. So they affect a lot about how we eat. So I think that leads to a predisposition for having those issues. All right. For our second drawing, here we go. This is for the second free book. And you can only win once. All right, Mr. Ivan
won.
Dawkins. Mr. Ivan Dawkins. Make sure you just get us your information so we can send you your book. Make sure we get that to you. All right. So we have three more books. So how are we going to handle the last three? Because we run out of time. How are we going to handle the last three? The first three people to share this episode.
Yeah.
First three people to share this episode on your Facebook page. Yeah.
Well, and too, man, you don't want to be a disservice to nobody else, man. This was something that I think a lot of people needed to hear. And if you can be the reason why somebody else heard it, why would you not? Because this was some really, really good information, man. And if for nothing less, man, just make sure that you give them the information to where they can get a hold of their own book. If for nothing else, so let's be blessers and not always takers. So if you can bless somebody with information, why would you not? So let's share that. As a matter of fact, I implore. No, wait, what's the word I always use?
That's it. That's a good one.
That's a good one. I want to use one that don't really go. Hey, let's be robust in this time right now. Let's be.
Listen, like he said, there are 50 doctors plus himself, 50 doctors. How many times can you have access to the information from 50 doctors? This is all in one place. He said 2 years he spent compiling this information for the benefit of men. And listen, married men, if this is leading to depression, which leads to all kinds of, we wonder why we're having problems in our marriage, why we're depressed. And he said it eventually leads to death and suicide. Listen, men have a high suicide rate, and nobody wants to say that this led me to it. The fact that I could be intimate with my wife leads me to it. But now we see the domino effect.
We got a third winner. We got a third winner. Clinton Gordon is the third winner.
Clint Gordon. Clint, send us your information. We'll get you your book. All right. So the last two books, first two people to share this episode on their page, let people know about it. We're going to be looking for the first two people to share this episode. And then we'll reach out to you on Facebook so you can give us your information and let us know how to get the book to you. But we'll definitely get it to you, a signed copy from the man himself, Dr. Judson Brandeis. Mika says, I was hoping you didn't think of robust. Well, Mika, he Clint said, yes. This is one you definitely want to have in your library.
All right, man.
Like, it's just a reference book. It's not one you read the cover. It's a reference book. So whenever you're going through anything, check it out.
Well, because it can be intimidating when you get it. Because when I saw it, I was like, whoa, ain't nobody gonna read all that. But it's not that type of book. You just go to the table of contents and find out what benefits you, where you are at that particular moment, or what you're struggling with, and go to that particular chapter and read up on what you're going through. Awesome book. Every man should have one in their house. Every man should have one in the house.
Absolutely. Mm-hmm. Don't forget how to go get the book. 21stcenturyman.com. You can go and you can get information. He says he has Audible coming out. This is, once you see the book, you realize why it's taking so long to get the Audible version out, because it's a lot to it.
It's a lot.
Audible version, the Kindle version is coming up. So we definitely want to make sure that
we got the last two. We got the last two, D.
Glenn says, I'm reading cover to cover.
No, you gotta buy those.
Oh, yeah, you gotta buy. Unfortunately, no free bottles of Affirm.
hey, but I'll let you know how much they cost. I go get stuff.
And we'll see if we can probably put some kind of link on our Facebook page or something to Dr. Brandeis's information, so you can go and you can check it out and get what you need from him. So final thoughts.
All right, man, a lot of information, but I think for me, the best thing I heard tonight was being my own hero. You know, because we look to people a lot of times to do stuff that we can't do. But I think it's time for us to start taking that power back, because you never know who you can inspire to do better and be better. Man, why don't we take our health back? Why don't we start with our health and make yourself proud of something? Because I'm sure men need to do something. There's something you need to do. There's a doctor you need to go see. There's something you need to go take care of. But let's take that power back, man. I think that was awesome. That was awesome. And I'm going to begin taking my power back tomorrow. That's all I got.
Whenever you have people that depend on you, you have people who look to you. And as a man, you want to be that type of man. You want to be the person that people feel like they can depend on, they can go to. And if you're good at that, you want to make sure you can maintain that for an extended period of time. But if we're not taking care of ourselves, it's hard to do that. So we need to start to really invest more time into taking care of ourselves. We want to be around for our families as long as we can. We want to teach them. We want to leave a legacy, but it starts with taking care of ourselves first. Wives, your husbands, help them pay more attention to their health. Husbands, for the sake of your family, for the sake of your legacy, make sure you're taking care of yourself. There's a lot at stake. There's generations at stake. And we want to not just leave things behind. We want to leave a standard of care and health behind. So make sure you're doing that for your family. And that's our King Speak for this week.
Woo, man.
Man, that was a barn burner right there, boy.
That was good, man.
Yeah.
That was a good one. You know, it's one thing to try to help people. It's another thing to try to get somebody here that can actually really help you.
Yeah, that was valuable information.
Yeah.
And listen, make sure you go check the podcast out again. If you missed anything, send the podcast to other people, especially men or women who have men in their lives that they're concerned about. Make sure you share that with them, send it to them. You remember, check us on Apple, Spotify, Overcast, Spreaker, all these different platforms. It will be available there.
Don't send it to women who love women. It's just for me.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, I hope somebody caught us on BS3 TV tonight. I hope you caught us on BS3 TV. This episode will also still be up on BS3 TV on Roku, so you can watch it on your TV, right? Tell all your friends. Everybody's doing it.
There you go.
Terry Little's watching on Roku right now. Thank you for watching. We appreciate you, Mr. Little. Hey, man, been a good one,
Bro. Listen, man. I just want everybody to take something from it. Just take. You don't have to. You know, I know it was a lot of information, but just take something from it, man. Because I'm sure there was something that was said for everybody.
Right. Get the book. Let's do that. Get the book. Ivan Says Affirm is $75 on Amazon. Listen,
I need somebody to go half with me on a half a bottle.
I'm gonna split a bottle. Boy, ain't that like us? Hey, listen, we'll spare no expense when it comes to stuff like this. So,
brother,
go ahead and get the bottle of Affirm too.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for being with us tonight. We're gonna come back next week with more good stuff for you. We appreciate y'all. Thank you. We'll see y'all next week.
Y'all be blessed.